In many ways, this is going to be the most important video I can make about marketing. So let's first step back and really ask ourselves, what is marketing? Marketing is essentially an intellectual debate that is happening real time between the seller and the buyer. And the marketer is the person who is actually doing the debating on our behalf. So, 20,000 consumer products are launched every year. 98% of them fail. The average consumer, I read somewhere, is exposed to 5,000 ads in a day. We are being saturated with advertising messages. The idea of where the best, most efficient, most cost effective, lowest prices are messages that are quite pedestrian, and consumers are bombarded with them all day long. Now, our brain has evolved so it can filter out noise, so it can focus in on survival tactics. Now, we're living in a modern age. Of course, we don't have threats to our life, but we certainly want to get rid of any noise or any distraction, and the same is true for marketing. So marketing hyperbole or marketing, salesmanship is either discounted by the buyer. So if you say we are the best in the marketplace, the buyer, if you're lucky, will say, well, maybe they're not the best, they're being a little enthusiastic. Or they could be more harsh and say, I'm going to completely discount this message because he's just a marketer doing marketing speak. So this is the world in which marketers are living, and we have to figure out a way to break through the noise and connect with our buyer. Now, keep in mind, I am in no way suggesting that the marketer should apply these techniques if your product truly isn't the best or if you're not special in a very specific way. But assuming that to be the baseline, you obviously want to be able to connect with the buyer in this environment where the buyer is being distracted by 10,000 things. There's a very specific way of doing it, and we call it implied marketing. I'm going to show you an example to illustrate the power of implied marketing, and I'm confident it's going to massively improve your metrics. Imagine you are an energy drink company and you've created a new energy drink and you want to advertise this on Facebook. What you can do is you can have a headline like this: there are over 122 energy drinks on the market, ours is the best. So you're basically acknowledging that there's a lot of energy drinks available in the marketplace and ours is the best. Now, when the consumer sees this message, now if they were living in a vacuum where they were only seeing one message a day, this would be a perfectly acceptable message. But they're not living in a vacuum, and Facebook makes billions of dollars bombarding them with 50 different ads every day, all of which claim that their product is the best. The consumer has obviously been desensitized to this message. So they see this message, and the fact that you are claiming to be the best automatically categorizes you as a marketer, and then they start either discounting you or ignoring you. I'm going to show you now the implied version of this message, which is pretty much the same message, except it's slightly different. So now the headline says, now the ad says, there are over 122 energy drinks on the market. We've tried them all. Notice the section in italics. We're not claiming that we're the best. We're not claiming that everything else is inferior. We are simply stating we've tried them all. Now, the way the brain works is that when we are consuming information, the brain is obviously already ahead of us. In fact, as I'm talking about this video, your brain is already racing ahead. And so the brain is constantly filling the blanks. So when you hear a statement, you're already kind of painting a picture for what comes next. So when you hear a statement like, there are 122 energy drinks on the market, we've tried them all, the brain automatically concludes the statement, and the conclusion is, we're probably the best of that batch, which is why we launched the business. So what's really clever about this is that the marketer actually didn't even finish the punchline. The consumer completed the dots on the marketer's behalf, because it's an incomplete statement. We've tried them all. That's not complete. There needs to be more. But the marketer didn't say anything more. So the consumer filled in the blanks. So the point here is that what we've done is we left that blank. The brain has gone and filled that blank. But there's something really important that's happening at a subconscious level. Imagine, think of your own life scenario. When someone talks to you and makes a claim, you discount it. But when you make a claim about that person on your own, there is no discounting. It's come from you. So it's almost like a Trojan horse, where because the punchline has come from the reader itself, it gets embedded in their psyche. They actually believe it because it's coming from them. Obviously, this has to be used very ethically and in a very controlled way. But that is the power of implied marketing. So go back and look at your marketing messages and say, hey, are there instances where we are overstating or stating what we do literally? That is not effective. Can we try some form of implied messaging and test to see how that works? That's the idea.